Now let's turn to price floors. Now price floors are really just the opposite of a price ceiling. It's a minimum legal price. So let's look at the effect this is going to have on market clearing. Well now, like with a price ceiling, you could set the price really high or you could set it really low, and you can do the same thing with price floors. We could set a price floor, say, down at this level. So it might be, say, the going price for this good is $5, while the price floor is set at $3. That means the government has said you have to charge at least $3 for this product. Well, in that case, if the price is already $5, the price floor is going to be ineffective. That is, it won't actually have any kind of effect because it's not asking people to change their behavior at all. People are already following the law, so it doesn't matter if the law is there or not. Now, where this might matter is if the price floor is placed above the equilibrium price. In that case, it will actually have an effect. So in that case, we're forcing the price up above where it would otherwise be. Right. The result being then an excess supply or a surplus. As you drive the price of something up, naturally suppliers are more willing to provide the product, but at the same time, those on the demand side are less willing to buy the product. Right. As a result, we have more provided to the market for sale than people want to buy, or we have excess supply. The effects of the price floor we can go through very much like with a price ceiling. We note the quantity will be below the social optimum. Here in this case, the quantity traded is going to be restricted by the quantity demanded. As you drive the price up, fewer people want to buy the thing, and as a result, less gets purchased. When we look at consumers will see that they have a higher price they have to pay for the product, and at the same time, the quantity is less. This means universally consumers are going to be hurt. Right? Either they are stuck paying a higher price for the good, or the price has gone high enough that it's not worthwhile for them to pay it. Either way, consumers are made worse off. For producers, the effects are more mixed. After all, with a higher price is a good thing as long as they can actually find somebody willing to buy the product from them. However, the reality is less is going to be sold. And that's a bad thing from the producer's perspective. So it really depends on which producer you are. If you're one that can still sell the product, then you're looking good when there's a price floor. On the other hand, if you're one that can't sell the product now because the price has been forced up, now you're worse than you were before. And once again, the size of the quantity effect is very much going to depend on the elasticity of supply and demand. If we have very elastic supply and demand, that means we respond a lot to price changes. When you push prices up, people really stop buying the good. As a result, the quantity falls dramatically. This makes it more likely producers will be harmed by the price floor. While at the same time, if there's inelastic supply and demand, then the quantity effects will be relatively small, making it more likely that producers will actually be helped by the price floor. Now, because of that, we notice with both the price floor and the price ceiling, we get smaller quantity effects if supply and demand are inelastic. That means it's actually more likely that we're going to see these policies in those markets. After all, for example, who is it that's going to call for a price ceiling that'll try to push prices down? Well, it's obviously not the producers. It's much more likely to be the consumers. Well, the consumers are really only going to call for a price ceiling if they believe it's not going to hurt them. Well, it's less likely to hurt them if demand and supply are relatively inelastic. We can make the same kind of argument for producers calling for price floors. They'll only tend to do it if they believe that demand and supply are relatively inelastic. That is, that the price can be pushed up without them really losing a lot of business as a result.